Okay, today we are going to look at using our Pythagoras skills in another way, in another application. We're going to be looking at finding the distance between two coordinate points. Okay, so if you're given a question like the one on the screen here, where you have point A and point B, and are then asked the distance from point A to point B, should be this distance here, then what we can do is we can make use of the grid and put in a right-angled triangle. Like this. Once you've drawn a right-angled triangle, this part here is right angle because you know the x and y axis are at 90 degrees to each other, which means that everything in the grid is 90 degrees on every angle here. So what that allows us to then do is count how many along we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 along, and 1, 2, 3 up. And now we know the two short sides of our triangle, and it's a right angle triangle. We can use Pythagoras. So we can say that the length AB squared is equal to the square of the other two lengths. So 4 squared plus 3 squared. Now let's find out what that works out as. 4 squared is 16, plus 3 squared is 9. 16 plus 9 is 25. So that is, remember, the square of the length AB. So the length AB is the square root of 25, which is 5. Now on this one, our x and y coordinates don't have any measurement or any units to them. So it's just 5. There's not any units, not 5 centimetres or 5 metres or anything on this one. If our coordinate grid had units to it, then their length would be in the same unit as our coordinates. Okay, let's look at another example. Okay, in this one, our coordinates are in slightly different positions. So we're not just working in this top quadrant, where we have a positive y and a positive x value in the coordinate. So this time, I'm just going to write down what the coordinates are. So we're going 1 along and down by 2. So the coordinates of P are 1 minus 2. So that's 1 minus 2. And to get to Q, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 along, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. So that is 7, 6 for the coordinates. We draw our line in the same as we did last time. Oh, I have not changed the colour, so we're going to swap them around. We'll do the other part in blue. So the length PQ is the red line here. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw a triangle in. So it's going to go from here and from the top down. And that gives us our right angle triangle. Okay, remember, this one's the right angle. So there's two things we can do. We can either count the boxes because we've got a nice grid, which is going to be the easiest way this time. We can also think about the difference between the x coordinates. So if I count the boxes first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 boxes along the base here. And our x coordinate changes from 1 to 7. The difference between 7 and 1 is 6. And that makes sense. Now let's count up the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is 8 boxes. And our difference from 6 to negative 2 is 8. Just remember that 6 minus minus 2 is the same as 6 plus 2, which is 8. Okay. That'll become important later once we get to the stage where we're not given a grid. We may just be given the coordinates, but we won't be looking at that today. That will be in Friday's lesson. Okay, so we're trying to find the length from P to Q. we have the two shorter sides. So we can go back to our Pythagoras. So the length PQ squared is equal to 6 squared plus 8 squared. Remember, it's this adding the square of the other two lengths. 6 times 6 is 36. 8 times 8 is 64. 36 and 64 comes to 100. Remember, that is PQ squared. So to find just PQ, we have to take the square root. So we have to do the square root of both sides. So PQ is the square root of 100. So PQ equals 10. So that means that it's 10 units up the red line. Okay. Going to do final one. This time, our point A and our point B are quite a bit further apart. And point A is in this bottom left quadrant where both the x coordinate and the y coordinate are going to end up being negatives. So let's figure out what they are. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. So the x part of this is minus 6. And then we go down by 1. So the y part is minus 1. So the coordinates of A are minus 6, minus 1. And for B, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right. And 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So the coordinates are 6, 4. Okay, we'll draw our line from A to B. Okay, so that's the length that we're going to try and find, the length AB. So we'll draw in our triangle as we were doing before. So that is going to come from this corner here. Remember, we're going to have a right angle. Now, let's have a look at the lengths that we have. So again, because we've got the grid, we can just count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 12 units along the base. Now have a look at our x coordinates. We have positive 6 and negative 6. So the difference between plus 6 and minus 6 is 12. That makes sense. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up the side. Let's just check our y coordinates. We have 4, negative 1. The difference between 4 and negative 1 is 5 units. So again, that makes sense. And it's going to lead us on to what we're going to be looking at on Friday, when we don't have a diagram which is quite as useful as this one. Okay, so our length AB, we can now use our Pythagoras because we have a right angle triangle. So AB squared is the sum of the square of the other two sides, so 12 squared plus 5 squared. So 12 times 12 is 144. 5 times 5 is 25. Add those two together, you get 169. But that is AB squared. Remember, we have to take the square root. So the square root of 169 comes out at 13. Okay. So your steps that you're going to be following when you're looking at questions like this. If you've got a diagram, the first thing you do is sketch a copy of it and draw in the right angle triangle. So you're going to draw along the base and up the side, and then you can just count the boxes, or you can subtract the two x coordinates to get the long length along the base, and then subtract the two y coordinates to find the height. Once you have your right angle triangle in your two dimensions, you then apply our Pythagoras to find the length. Okay.